Hi everyone, welcome to World of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is a replay, another replay from Timbob from what University Southeast Asian clan, who's platooning with his old mate Ravi 18 from the same clan. They're on Winterberg and it's an encounter game. I don't do many encounter game replays, but this one is well worth doing. He's not top tier, he's a tier 8 American heavy tank in a tier 9 game, but there's only 4 tier 9s on the enemy side. Counter game is where both sides have to try and kill everyone or capture the white flag. Bit of good-natured banter going on in the chat in this game early on, and you do see it turns a little bit toxic, but we'll be okay. Tim and Ravi are both getting into a good hold-down position using the buildings as cover in the city, not too far from the flag. Tim's going to be the first one to cross that road where the heavy tanks often have a big engagement. He wants to get eyes on the cap circle. You don't want those pesky enemy tanks to cap you out early on this game. I think it is a bit harder to cap in this mode. I don't have this mode turned on in my game because a lot of the people I platoon with don't like it. Puts a tracking shot into the T10, the tier 9 enemy tank, and then his T10 just puts in 10 or 20 damage. It tells us that he's firing high explosive, which is not a good thing to do, especially when you're top tier. Not against a T10, which is also top tier anyway. So anyway, Tim's got himself into a position where he's got eyes on the cap, and his mate's with him, Ravi's with him, so there's two of them as well as their T10 able to put damage into the enemy tanks. Now there's a lot of pinging of the map going on, and people are, as usual, trying to tell the artillery what to do. I'm not a good artillery player. I haven't played that many artillery games, but I very much doubt that the artillery from where he is would have shots on those heavy tanks. I think he's probably aiming at the Centurion on the eastern side of the map, because there's just too many buildings there. I have played a few artillery games, but I'm definitely not an expert playing artillery. I know it's a pretty hard map to get shots on with those buildings. But anyway, Tim's sitting there waiting for those enemy heavies to present themselves. There's an E75, a T10, as well as the Tier 7 Oni, the new Japanese heavy tank that have been spotted not far from the cap circle, and there's WZ120, which I've just finished my grind to the 121, and the WZ120 has it's not the fastest medium tank in the game by any stretch of the imagination. It does have a meaty gun. Now looking at what on Tim's team, that T10 keeps doing 50 to 100 damage, which is he's still firing high explosives, so he really does not understand the mechanics of the game. Good shot there from Tim. He's put that IS-2 on fire, and I think he dies. He does, which is good. That's one down. It's only a tier 7 in a tier 9 game, and it's a really hard thing to do, playing a tier 7 heavy tank in a tier 9 game. It's one thing I really don't like about tier 7, because the gap from tier 7 to 8 to 9 is pretty big, and when you're a tier 7 heavy in a tier 9 game, you're just hoping for the best, really. Hoping to take a few opportunistic shots. It should not be at the front line. Puts another shot into the T10, which is a very dangerous tank, the T10. I loved it when I had mine. It's got a lot of armour, it's got a big gun, and between Tim, Ravi, and what won the T10 on Tim's side, they're slowly putting shots into it. You can see Tim's already picked up 1400 damage, which isn't bad for a tier 8 heavy tank, but he's only just getting warmed up. He's down to half hit points himself, so he's taken a few shots. He's taken a few shots, well, 2 shots, from probably one from the IS-2 and one from the T10, I would imagine, going by the amount of damage he received. And he's sitting there, staying held down, waiting for the enemy to present themselves. It can be a waiting game. You've really got to learn your patience. And finally the T10 has loaded normal ammunition and put a good damaging shot into the enemy T10. The E75 isn't presenting himself, so he's not really a danger there, but something needs to be done soon. They're losing by 2 tanks. It looks like he might get a shot onto that. Oh yes, it'll be easy damage if he does. Yes, he does, right into the turret. And again, the T10 does a shot for 25 damage. So telling me that the T10 on Tim's side is firing high explosive ammunition. I'll be very interested to see what he ends up doing. It looks like he's reasonably new at the game, but he's still got a tier 9. Tim takes out the IS, which is very handy to do. He's got 6,000 battles, guy in the T10, but not the best statistics from any stretch of the imagination. But you can see that he's playing, he's doing it. I don't think he's a bot. I think he might be. Might be just learning the game. Who knows? And again, it looks like Ravi's received a little bit of team damage. He's just saying that he's reported somebody. There was maybe the T49. I don't know. Or the T37. Who knows? But anyway, Tim's decided now's the time to move. It's time to move forward. Tim's got the armour. Enemy T10 is gone. They're trying to deal with this Panther 2 and the E75. He moves around the corner. He's trying to stay hull down, trying to use the dead tanks as cover. Puts a good 340 damage into the 09. And most of the enemy tanks are in that area. Apart from the light tank down the bottom, which for some reason that IS2 seems to be scared of. Tim's still got half his hit points, but those two enemy tanks have both got less than half their hit points. So my money's on Tim here. He's just taken that 09 down to a one shot. Ravi kills the Panther 2, and Tim can confidently bounce a shot from the 09 if he needs to, but he doesn't. He takes him out and brings his damage count up to 3,358, which is a good result. T49, maybe he's the offending person who put damage into Ravi, because he's putting the T32s on the noobs, but they've got 4 kills between them, and I think that's about to go up. Ravi's unlucky there, he's been taken down, but the IS gets rid of the WZ-120 just in time. Tim's doing the right thing here and trying to put himself between the E75 and Ravi, because Tim knows he's got the hit points. Puts another shot into the E75, and the E75's on fire. I'm not sure who shot him. I've got a feeling it's not Tim, because normally it says something in the he says, "We'll let that one up." That's what they normally say. But they've won that area of the map. However, the score is still even at 9 apiece. So Tim's having a bit of a hunt around. Down the bottom you can see the AMX 1390. He looks like he's a one shot. The IS2 should be able to take care of him, but he's down the bottom of the map. The Centurion looks like he's attacking the IS2. There is a building between them, so hopefully the IS2 can hold off as the T10 goes around the corner. But we know what that T10's like. He hasn't been having the best game. Now, as I'm doing this replay, I haven't been paying too much attention to the chat, but you can probably read for yourself and have a bit of a laugh. I don't know what was going on between the KB13, the T49 and Ravi in the T32. Obviously Ravi's no longer alive, so he's able to type lots of messages into the chat game. The IS2 gets rid of the St. Emil, which obviously must have gotten pretty brave if the IS2 could shoot him all the way down there, but that is where some of their tanks were. T29 and the Centurion are fighting him with the T10 and the IS2. The IS, the Russian IS, is also going back to try and deal with that Centurion, and Tim's on an arty mission. He's out looking for the artillery, not necessarily on not an in-game arty mission, but he wants to get rid of that artillery piece. And one shot is not going to be enough, but the second shot certainly will be. And there goes the artillery. That's Tim's 5th kill and the last kill of a game. You can see he's done 4,288 damage in that massive carry. Looking at the post-game battle results, it's a mastery badge for Tim. Bruiser badge for damaging modules and crew at least 5 times. He got the arsonist for he set that tank on fire at the start of the game. Fighter, fire for effect, and a high caliber for doing the most damage. 4,282 damage, 5 kills, 1,532 experience. That is a massive amount of experience. There was bonuses in that experience for the tracking shots, which gave him 923 assisted damage, also for spotting for the artillery while he was at the front line. And of course, it was a tier 9 game and Tim was in a tier 8 tank, so you get a bonus for experience when you're fighting in a higher tier than what your tank is. So 4,282 damage, that's absolutely massive. 5 kills and a profitable game too, just under 40,000 net profit. That's with a premium account, which is pretty good for a tier 8 tank. You can see he fired 18 shots, they all hit, 13 went through, and that's what gave him a good amount of damage. Only blocked 890, but got a little bit unlucky with some of those early shots that he took in the game, but in the end he still had half his health, so the amount of hit points he had was all he needed. Thanks for watching this replay. Big thanks to Timbob and Ravi for sending in that replay. I think I'm going to watch it again just so I can see what's said in the chat, because it looks like it was quite entertaining. I was more focused on the gameplay and trying to pick the right tanks. One thing we were going to look at was that T10. You fired 17 shots, 12 hit, 11 went through. He did 1,928 damage from 11 shots. That's about 180 damage a shot, which tells me that most of he was firing HE for a lot of it. So that's why he looked like he didn't really do well. Ravi had a good game as well. 2,226 damage, 7 penetrating shots, and the T49, there you go. That's the 293 team damage that we think he must have done to Ravi, which is, I think, what started that banter in the chat. Anyway, thanks for watching the replay. Big thanks to Timbob and Ravi from WUSEA, What University SEA clan, for submitting the replay. If you've enjoyed, please think about subscribing to the channel or giving us a like or a comment down below. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you all next time.